Sue Smith sitting in for Aaron Rand. Great to be with you, and I will be here for the next couple of weeks. Well, my next guest is what you might call a super donor. He's American, and he has donated blood in all 50 states. And yesterday, he crossed the border and gave blood in Quebec. Vinton Smith joins me on the line. Good afternoon.
Hi, Susan. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. So what brought you to Quebec yesterday?
I came to Quebec simply to give blood. Now, I was traveling up to CJAD, New York, not far from the Canadian border, for a business meeting, and I thought, well, I could just dart over there and give a pint of blood and help some of our neighbors in Quebec.
And what was it like? Was it different in any way from all of your other experiences?
No, there were a few differences, but for the most part, it was just as simple and just as easy as it is to donate blood in America.
Uh-huh. Now, you have been on this, project to donate blood in 50 different states. How did that start?
A great question. My commitment to donate blood started when I was 17 years old. Watching my parents, as I grew up, they both gave blood and always did things to care for others in their community. So when I had an opportunity to give, I rolled up my sleeve and gave. But then I continued that for many, many years. And about 20 years ago, I had a change in my job, which required a lot of travel. The only way that I could keep up my consistent blood donating is if I were to give blood wherever I may have been traveling, most of that in the U.S. And that's how I stumbled on this opportunity to give blood in all 50 states.
Mm-hmm. What was the first place that you went to that was out of your home state?
That would have been Florida, actually, sunny Florida.
So, how often do you give blood?
Everyone can give blood if they're eligible, about every 56 days. There are a few differences in Canada, but whole blood is the same for men. I think there's some differences in timing for women here in Canada versus the U.S. But, healthy donors can give blood several times a year.
Uh-huh. Wow. Yeah, sounds like every 2 months. Okay, so you started in Florida, and then perhaps maybe you went to another state. Was there one point where you were like, okay, now I have to go to every single state?
Yeah, so it was after 3 years I counted up that I had donated blood in 16 different states. And it was then I thought, this is really a fascinating situation I'm in, and could be a great opportunity, not only to give blood, not to just give blood another donation in all 50 states, but to share the story of what it means to give blood and the impact that it has in more places than just my home community. Mm-hmm. And so it was then that I decided, I think I should set out on a quest to donate blood in all 50 states. And then I began scheduling business meetings if I could, even adjusted family vacation schedules to destinations where I hadn't given blood yet.
I like the word quest. That really sounds like what it's been. And so you've had a few really interesting experiences. It sounds like eventually this quest has garnered interest from, Alaskan Airlines. Let's start with them. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Alaskan Airlines was a great partner. Now, I didn't set out to look for help to get to other places. Most of it was through business travel and vacation time. But when it came down to the final two states, Alaska and Hawaii, it's expensive to fly in Alaska. Yeah. And I just thought, I wonder if I share my story with the airline, they may be interested in this. If they've got an empty seat on the plane, they'll help me out. Well, they did so much more than that. They not only flew me to Alaska, they donated $10,000 to the Blood Bank of Alaska. And the following year, they flew me, my wife, and two children and mother to Hawaii, where they were all able to be with me when I was donating and reaching that milestone of 50 states.
That's amazing. So you say that you're doing this to share the story of what blood donation means. Tell us what that means to you.
Thank you so much for asking, because that's what the story is really about. Sure, this is a unique story about somebody who's given blood in many different places, but I'd like to encourage everybody to realize that every blood donation, if it's at the same blood donor center down the street that they've always donated at, every one of those blood donations are just as impactful as mine. And what does it mean? We often hear that when we donate whole blood, we can save up to 3 lives. And usually that's where the story of the impact stops because, well, after all, that's a big deal. Mm-hmm. If we help save someone's life, that's making a huge difference for them. Mm-hmm. But I like to think about what comes next. By saving someone's life, that gives them an opportunity to live so much longer. The impact we all can make when we're donating blood mm-hmm. is taking a few moments of our life to restore a lifetime of moments for others, mm-hmm. moments that would have otherwise been lost forever.
I'm thinking you must have met some amazing people along the way too, in some of the blood donor clinics throughout the States.
Yes, the most amazing people that I think of are not individuals themselves, but people who have heard my story and said that after hearing it, inspired them to take a few minutes and go get blood themselves, mm-hmm. and realizing that it's not a difficult task, it's very simple, and it's extremely meaningful for others. And when we think about the impact we make, it's very meaningful for each of us inside too.
Now, you've finished all 50 states, and I couldn't help but notice yesterday that this was your 51st in Quebec, and I understand that was a coincidence. You're not trying to make a political point here. But I wonder now, so what's next? Are you going to go across Canada? Where? The world?
Well, that's a great question. A few years ago, I began donating platelets and plasma as well, and I've reached 29 states for donating platelets. And, where I go next, I don't necessarily have a plan. I have done some mission work in Africa and traveled to other places, and I've often thought about maybe that could be maybe every continent. But, the most important thing is that I'm going to continue to give blood regularly or platelets and plasma regularly wherever I am, mm-hmm. because that need exists at home, it exists here in Quebec, it exists everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so I really encourage every listener to think about how they could make a difference in their neighbors' lives.
Is it a different procedure to donate plasma and platelets?
It is. It takes a little bit more time and a little bit more complicated, but it's relatively simple as well. I would suggest if somebody hasn't given platelets or plasma or whole blood before, certainly start with whole blood. It's much shorter, and can have just as big of an impact for people in need.
Okay. Well, listen, really great talking to you, and good luck as your quest continues. Thank you, Vinton.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here in Quebec. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, I'm Ruby Carr, the host of the podcast Encore. Check out our brand new episodes featuring music from the show that everyone is reheating as we speak, Heated Rivalry. Join me as I go behind the songs that brought Shane and Elia together. I'll tell you the stories of Feist, My Moon, My Man, Wolf Parade's I'll Believe in Anything, and Tattoo's All the Things She Said, and how they all became a part of this global phenomenon. Stream Encore on iHeartRadio, Crave, or wherever you get your podcasts.